Wait, I've got the mic on. You need the mic.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Just
Oh, okay. So, welcome to day 2 of our attempt to bring you some virtual practice, just to help to support your home practice. We had hoped to upload a few videos yesterday, but there was some challenges, technical challenges that Karen has now sorted through. So hopefully there'll be a few practices very shortly, including this one. All right, let's do this.
I don't know why I'm nervous. There's no one watching. Okay. So find a place your body's comfortable, and that can be sitting or lying down. And soften your eyebrows, your eyelids. Let your body get more still. One thing I've found these days is that the boundaries on what a moment feels like have really opened up. The sense of uncertainty is so vast. And the contents of each day can be so different. So with less structure to hold us into a sense of normalcy, our practice can help find grounding, help us find something reliable in and amongst everything that's changing. So although this is a flow class and there'll be plenty of movement, we are also going to work to connect to ourselves and connect to our foundation, connect to what keeps us steady. If you're lying down, come up to a comfortable seat. And we'll begin with some joint opening through your middle and upper body. So when you breathe in, press your hands down into your legs and lift through your chest. And then when you breathe out, round your spine, let your shoulders cave in and bring your chin down. As you move back to the inhale, lift again through your chest, roll your shoulders back. And as you breathe out, round through your spine, pressing the breath away. So do this a few more times with your breath. Okay. After the next time you've breathed out, come back up to a tall seat and clasp your hands, interlace your fingers, and roll your knuckles around a few times. Releasing sound, creating space. Okay, and then just give your hands a soft shake. And come off your seat, come around to your hands and your knees. Okay. All right, so from your hands and knees, place your left palm down right underneath your chest. Get steady through your hand. And with an inhale, sweep your right arm wide out to the side and up overhead. And as you breathe out, thread the needle pose, your right hand behind your left wrist, and draw your right shoulder down. So your right shoulder can come directly to the mat, but you can also set a soft cushion underneath it. Your left hand can stay on the ground, or if you like, you can bring your hand up to your hip or across your lower back, even towards your right hip. Yeah, we'll leave this to yogi's choice. You can just feel where you're best. Draw your sitting bones up and back. So you've got lots of length in your spine. Let's take one more slow breath in this way. And when you breathe out, bring your left hand down and press yourself back up to all fours. So let's take a few breaths in cat-cow pose. With an inhale, roll your pelvis forward, stretch your front body, Great, and an exhale, round your spine, tailbone, and bring your head down. One more, a slow inhale. Great, and a long exhale. Okay, and then come back to a neutral spine and place your right palm right underneath your chest. Sweep your left arm wide as you breathe in. And exhale, thread the needle, tuck your hand behind your right wrist. Keep reaching and roll your left shoulder away from your ear as your shoulder meets the ground. Your right hand can stay down or you can lift it, just same as the first side. It can be towards your lower back or on your hips. So find a sense of grounding through your knees and feet, shoulder, the side of your head, and draw your hips up and back, adding a little more length in your spine. Breathe out again. Lower your right hand and bring yourself up to your hands and knees. Okay, let's work through to downward facing dog. So move your hands ahead of your shoulders and take a few breaths to pedal out your heels. And you can really add any kind of movement that feels good. If your ankles are a bit tight, feel free to move them around. Just all the while, try to connect to a good foundation through your hands, your finger pads. And maintain a softness through your neck. All right, the next time you breathe in, lengthen your spine. And when you exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and bring your feet forward. Come up to a halfway lift with a smooth inhale. And as you exhale, fold in towards your legs. Okay, let's take this twice more. So again, an inhale to lengthen your spine. And an exhale to bow in. Okay, and then one more time, inhale, really lengthening out through your back body. Sorry to lift your shirt. And exhale, we'll tuck it back in. All right, take your time, rise up to stand, nice and slow, up to a full stretch. And then mountain pose, let your arms settle down by your sides. Okay, holding mountain pose, take a slow inhale and a long exhale. Move with your breath. With an inhale, lift through your chest and arms, Urdhva-sthasana. And exhale, fold from your hips down to standing forward fold, Uttanasana. With an inhale, come to a halfway lift. Your hands can be on blocks, the ground, or your shins, and then step your right foot back to a low lunge. As you inhale, lift your upper body, sweep your arms up, slow back bend, and then exhale, plant your hands, move back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, come forward into plank pose. So your knees can be up or down, but roll your shoulders back, and with an exhale, bend your elbows and lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes while you inhale, cobra pose. And exhale to downward facing dog. As you inhale, float your right leg up to three-legged dog. And then step your right foot forward, bring your left knee down to the mat, another low lunge. With an inhale, lift your upper body, your arms. Great. Exhale, bring your hands down. Prepare to step forward. With an inhale, a halfway lift. Great. And exhale to bow. Then rise up to stand. Come up to a full stretch. Great. Mountain pose as you breathe out. The other side, inhale slow, lift your arms, your chest, and then bow forward from your hips, Uttanasana, and inhale for a halfway lift. Step your left foot back, place your left knee to the mat, and as you inhale, lift your chest, your arms. Exhale, bring your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Find your ground. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, slowly lower down to the mat for your back bend. Breathe in, Bhujangasana Cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, slowly float your left leg up, three-legged dog. And step your left foot forward, lower your right knee, low lunge, and inhale, lift your upper body, your arms. As you exhale, lean forward, place your hands, step forward with an inhale, and bow forward with the exhale. Okay, come up to stand, a full stretch. Great, and then mountain pose as you breathe out. Okay, bring your feet a little closer together so the inside edges touch, and hug your inner leg lines towards each other. As you inhale, float your arms up, Urdhvastasana, and then chair pose, Utkatasana, as you breathe out. Sorry, Chris. Inhale with your hips low. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart, turn towards the right, so your left elbow dips down all the way to your thigh. And then inhale, unwind, hips low, arms up, and exhale the other way, turning left. Great, one more inhale, one more each side, that is. So an exhale, turning right, and inhale to unwind again. Great, and exhale to turn left. Okay, one more breath. Inhale into chair with your hips low, but then exhale, lift your hips, bow in Uttanasana with an inhale, a halfway lift. Step your right foot back, warrior one. So bring your right heel down to the mat and then lift your upper body. And after all this movement, let's take a few breaths to pause. So a nice bend of your left knee over your heel. Yeah, align your chest to face forward. Press down firmly through the outer edge of your right foot so you feel connected to the ground. And bring a subtle lift up through the center of your chest, the crown of your head, and your fingertips. Stay for as long as you need to breathe in once more. And when you breathe out, lean forward, place your hands down to the mat. Now bring your right knee down to the mat also. Your hands can be on blocks or the ground. Ardha Hanumanasana, walk your hands back and start to stretch out your left leg. Yeah, edge your left heel ahead as you need to, or walk your right knee back like Chris is doing. Okay, now roll your left hip back. So you're scissoring your inner thighs towards each other and try to keep as much length in your spine as you can. And if there's space to gently move into the tension of your left hamstrings, you're welcome to explore that, especially with the exhalations. Yeah, let your breath move you, so even in the tension, there's a little bit of softness. Okay. Now, lengthen your spine out again and bring your left hand to your left hip. Get really firm with your right hand so you can turn your upper body towards the left. And your left hand can stay at your left hip or reach your fingertips apart from each other. Yeah, try to stay long through the back of your neck. If you find you're gripping through your jaw or your tongue, just let those spaces release. Let's take one more slow breath in. And as you breathe out, unwind. Okay, so come back into the lunge so you can place your hands down to the mat and then step back to downward facing dog. Yeah, lift your hips up and back behind you. Lengthen down through the back of your neck. Okay, with a slow inhale, come forward into plank pose. Your knees can be up or down, and as you exhale, lower halfway or all the way, depending on whether you're headed to upward dog or cobra. And then downward facing dog as you breathe out. Okay. Now, as you inhale, lift your left foot up, three-legged dog, and step your left foot forward between your hands. Spin your right heel flat and come up to warrior two. Yeah, open your arms out into a T just when you're ready. So try to keep your left knee over your left heel. And as best as you can, stay long through your side bodies. You're quite upright with a sense of calm through your shoulders and jaw. Or maybe a warrior face. Now we're going to add a side body stretch. So turn your palms up to the ceiling and then reach your fingertips up. And using your right hand, grab a hold of your left wrist. Okay, with your right hand, pull your left arm up and then lean to the right, just very gradually. Still lunging into your left knee, just like you started warrior two. And angle your neck in a way that doesn't feel awkward, that there's still length through your neck, still room to breathe. Sensing your feet grip the mat, hug your feet towards each other so you can come out with an inhale, nice and steady, warrior two. And then straighten out your left leg. We'll move to triangle. If you like, move your right toe just ahead of your heel to get a little better grip on your mat, and then reach out through your left arm. Bring your left hand down, that can be to your leg or the block or the ground, and then turn your chest open towards the right. Lift through your lower belly to your spine to keep your lower back long, and then reach your right arm wide. Trikonasana. Yeah, this is another pose that you want to find a place for your neck. You don't feel awkward, that your gaze can be soft. And notice how with each exhalation, as the exhale closes, there's a gentle lift through your lower belly and pelvic floor, hugging your strength. When you breathe out next time, look down and bend your left knee. Step your right foot forward and come up to a halfway lift. Lengthen out. And then exhale and bow in towards your legs. Okay, let's rise to stand. Take your time to lift your chest, your arms, reaching up high. And then exhale for mountain pose. Okay, let's take a slow breath in through your nose. And a long exhale. Bring your feet in together close. Hug your legs in. With an inhale, float your arms up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, sit down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Great, another inhale, holding chair. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart, turn to the left, bring your right elbow down. And then inhale, unwind, reach out, reach up, and exhale, turn to the right. As you inhale, reach out again, your legs hugging in, and exhale, turn to the left. One more time, an inhale. Great, and an exhale. Okay, as you breathe in, return to chair pose, keep your hips low, chest lifted, and then exhale, chest low, hips lifted, Uttanasana. With an inhale, lengthen to a halfway lift. And then step your left foot back, warrior one. So bring your heel down, it's a little shorter stride than a lunge. Lift your upper body, lunge into your right knee. Turning forward, your hands can come to heart center or you can raise your arms up. Yeah, if your shoulders need a break, feel free to keep your hands low. Okay, so come right away into a steady rhythm of breath, nice and slow. Keep a firm grip on your mat through your feet. So through your back foot, it's the outer edge of your left foot that we're connecting down firmly. So your left leg turns out right from your thigh bone. Here, just a little bit longer, float up through the center of your chest. And the next time you breathe in, take a little extra reach up. And then exhale, bow forward, bring your hands down. Okay, bring your left knee down to the mat. Walk your hands back. Your blocks are helpful again. Move your hips back. You may need to edge your right heel ahead. Okay, then roll your right hip back and hug your left inner thigh forward. Okay, when you inhale, lift and lengthen through your spine. And then exhale to bow. Okay, so we'll take a few breaths with your chest facing the ground. Let your body move naturally with your breath. Not mentioned on the first side, but steadying for your hamstring, give a good push down through your right heel so you're well anchored there. Now, the next time you breathe in and you lengthen your spine, bring your right hand to your right hip and then slowly turn your upper body towards the right. So you can keep your right hand at your hip or reach up. And slide your shoulder blades down your back so the back of your neck is nice and long. Soften through your eyebrows. And when you exhale, unwind, bring both hands down, bend your right knee. So come back to a lunge so you can bring your hands under your shoulders and then go to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Okay, let's move into a vinyasa. So with a slow inhale, come forward to plank and your knees can be up or down. With an exhale, bend your elbows, lower steadily, untuck your toes, breathing in. Yeah, and make your way back, downward facing dog. Okay, now with an inhale, lift your right leg up to three-legged dog. And step your right foot forward between your hands. So warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, spin your left heel flat and come up. Open your arms out wide. Yeah, just making the checks that you enjoy so you're steady through your legs. Gently hug your feet towards each other, enough that you feel your inner thighs awake. And as you gather in your strength through your foundation, lift up through the center of your chest. So you're long through your side bodies. Now let's Add a little more length, turn your palms up, reach up, and using your left hand, grab your right wrist and reach up again, and then a careful lean towards the left. You want to make sure the lean isn't so far that your breath is inhibited, that there's still a steady rhythm, even if you need to concentrate a little more on breathing. When you breathe in again, warrior two, release your arms, and then straighten out your right leg. Trikonasana. So if it feels good for you to turn your left toe forward or shorten your stride, go ahead. And reach out through your right arm, lift from your belly button towards your spine so you're good and steady to bring your right hand down to a firm place. Use your foundation and roll your chest open towards the left. Yeah, reach out through your left arm if you wish. So just as we did in warrior two pose, and this can even be assisted if you have a micro bend in your knees, hug your feet towards each other. And each time you breathe out, it's like your exhalation is hugging back towards your pelvis. You keep yourself steady, and with the exhalation, let your lower belly lift back towards your spine. Okay, coming towards the end of the pose. Look down, bend your right knee, come into a lunge, step forward. So come to a halfway lift, lengthen out. And then exhale to bow in. Okay, let's come to stand. Breathe in slow, lift your arms up high. And then mountain pose when you breathe out. Okay, take another slow inhale. And a long exhale. Okay, now this time when you breathe in, lift your arms up. And then bring your palms together to heart center so you have that connection between your hands. Shift your weight into your left foot. We'll try a balance on one foot. Lift your right knee so your right knee comes up towards hip height. Yeah, like there was a tall stair you're trying to step upon. Keep your lower belly lifted towards your spine. Hug your right thigh bone back and towards your right hip. Now, if you wish, you can reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. That may help you feel the length in your side bodies more. We're going to take this to warrior three pose. So with a slight bend in your left knee, push your right foot back. And as you tilt forward into your left hip crease, your hands can stay extended, but you could also bring your hands to your heart. You could also bring your hands down to blocks. Yeah, try to hug your inner thighs towards each other. So your right toes turn towards the ground. Let's take a slow breath in. Now where we're headed is a high lunge. So bend your left knee, bring your right toes down. Once you've found your mat, lift your upper body and put a little bend into your right knee. So it's almost like a double lunge. Yeah, then really hug your inner thighs in towards each other. Lengthen your tailbone down so you have a bit more space in your lower back and lift up through the center of your chest. Great, breathing in here. As you exhale, bring your left hand down to your left hip. Turn your right palm towards the back of the room so your right thumb's open wide. And with a lift to keep your spine long, if you're comfortable, roll your left shoulder back, turn your gaze towards the left, and you take just a slight twist into extension. Yeah, we're almost there, so keep your breath steady, feet steady. And let's take one more inhale. Great, as you exhale, lean forward, bring your hands down. Now let's take this to three-legged dog. So with both hands down, lift your left foot up and back, and then float your left hip above your right and place a bend in your left knee. Your left foot can move with gravity, or you can even add a little more, hugging your heel in towards your right sitting bone. But to make this a release in your spine, a counter twist, draw your right shoulder down towards the height of your left one. Yes, you're smooth through your upper back. And then as you inhale, lift your left heel up high, stretch out your right leg, and then carefully place your right toes by your left. Downward facing dog. Oh, left by right, sorry. Okay, inhale, come forward into plank pose. No, of course not, we have to mess up. And exhale, bend your elbows to lower. Okay, a little different in the back bend this time. Come all the way down, untuck your toes, reach your hands back. Your palms can face your hips or clasp your hands. Press down through the front of your pelvis so you're nice and strong through your core, and then gradually lift up through your chest. And press down firmly through your left foot into the mat, and float your right leg up. So it could barely hover or it could come up further. Now with an inhale, lengthen between your feet and your head. And as you exhale, take a gentle twist towards the left. So let your right shoulder come down. Yeah, so you're turning away from your right lifted leg. Make sure that your breath is moved with you. And after you breathe in one more time, carefully release. Come to lie down. Bring your palms by your ribs. Take a moment to settle. And curl your toes under. Yeah, bring your palms by your ribs. And then downward facing dog. Actually a nice clearing breath here. So breathe in slow. Oh, open your mouth, exhale. Now as you inhale, bring your left leg up to three-legged dog. And then step your left foot forward up to your left hand. Okay, let's come up to a high lunge. Lift your upper body and just bring your hands to your hips. Okay, roll your left hip back and hug your right inner thigh forward. And then reach your right arm up. Okay, if you have quite a long stride, you may want to shorten your stride a bit by taking your right toes forward. Yeah, lean forward, straighten out your back leg. And then step forward onto your left foot, float your right leg up like you're heading to warrior three. And once you've lifted off, bring your right hand down to a block or the ground underneath your right shoulder. Okay, so let your right hand be weight bearing. Add a little comfort to that stability. And then roll your left hip back. Lift your lower belly towards your spine. And then turn carefully towards the left. Yeah, your left hand can stay at your hip, or if you're comfortable, reach your fingertips apart from one another. And try to smooth your shoulder blades down your back as you're nice and long through your neck. Great. He's working hard. Then look down, bring your right hand down, and carefully bring your right foot down too, so near the front of your mat. Left hand, right foot. Yeah, just a gentle forward fold. You can sway it out a little if you like. Okay. And as you're ready, you can roll up your spine or come up with a long back, how you feel best in your body, and let's meet in mountain pose. Okay. Bring yourself over the arches of your feet. Let yourself sense the groundedness of your foundation, the softness of your body. As you breathe in, float your arms up again, a full stretch, and then fold forward from your hips, Uttanasana. As you inhale, come up halfway into a long spine, and then exhale and bow back in. Okay, rise to stand, come up to a full stretch, and then bring your hands down to heart center. So hug your hands in firmly and shift your weight into your right foot. Lift your left heel, then lift your left knee. Okay. So draw up through your lower belly. Hug your left thigh bone in towards your left hip. And if you wish, reach your arms up with your palms facing each other. Warrior three. Slight bend in your right knee. Push your left foot back. Tilt your upper body forward. And remember the options of your arms. Your arms can be extended or your hands at heart center, or there's the blocks, if you have blocks, to reach down, or maybe your coffee table. Okay. So, we're going to move this to a high lunge. Place a bend in your right knee, step your left foot back, and then lift your chest. Yeah, and put an extra bend in your left knee so you can bring more space into your lower back, more length into your spine. Now settle your right hand down to your right hip. As you breathe in, lift up through your chest, up through your left hand, and then roll your right shoulder back. Just a little turn towards the right. Turn your left palm back so your left thumb's open wide. And if you're comfortable, to take a slight lean back into the turn. Yeah, even your gaze can come to the right if you're comfortable, if you feel steady. And if your lower back needs more space, just bend your back knee more. Yeah, and hug your inner thighs towards each other. Okay, so coming soon towards the end of the pose, breathing in. And when you exhale, lean forward and bring your hands down. All right, three-legged dog. Lift your right leg up and back. Stretch out and then open your right hip higher than your left and place a bend in your right knee. So your right leg could be working with gravity, or you can add a little more through your hamstrings, hugging your heel in. Yeah, and smooth out the height of your shoulders. Yeah, so there's a nice twist running up through your spine. As you inhale again, lift your left heel up, stretch out your right leg, and then bring your right foot down. Are you okay? Okay. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. And exhale, lower down to the mat. Okay, Shalabhasana variation. Untuck your toes, reach your hands back. Clasp your hands or just have your palms facing your hips. So with straight legs, press down through the front of your pelvis, lift through the center of your chest. And then if there's room in your lower back to add a little variation in your legs, this time your right leg stays down. Yeah, right leg down. That'll be your standing leg and revolve half moon, and lift your left inner thigh up. And then turn away from your left lifted leg. But try to keep your right hip grounded. One more breath, thinking expansion. And as you exhale, release. Okay, just let yourself find the ground for a moment.
New generation, new sound, new power, new perspective.
Bring your palms by your ribs when you're ready. Curl your toes. Downward facing dog. Okay. Moving from down dog, float your right leg up, three-legged dog. And then step your right foot forward, up to your right hand. A high lunge, lift your upper body, and bring your hands to your hips. Great, so roll your right hip back, hug your left inner thigh forward, and then reach up through your left arm. And if you feel quite extended, if your stride's quite long, bring your left toes forward, lean forward into a strong back, strong core, and then step forward onto your right foot. So it's warrior three in transition. Your left hand comes down sooner or later, and that's to a block or the ground underneath your shoulder. And once your left hand is down, put some steady weight through your left hand, roll your right hip back again, hug your left inner thigh forward, and then turn towards the right. And don't worry if it's even not so far of a turn. You can keep your right hand at your hip, or if you've turned to a place where your right arm can reach up comfortably, go ahead and expand across your collarbones. Yeah, push really firmly through your right foot into your foundation with one more inhale, extend. Great, and then a standing forward fold, really gentle through your feet. Let your upper body sway if you like. You can pedal out your knees a little bit if that feels good. Yeah, just releasing where there was effort. Bring it back to softness. Okay. All right, let's stay low to the ground. Take a couple steps back to downward facing dog. Bring your hips up and back. Okay, a hip release. Guide into pigeon pose, but this can be figure four pose for you too. So we'll start with our left leg. Raise your left leg. Bring your left knee forward towards the back of your left hand, a little wider if you wish. And then you can place a block underneath your left hip, or it can be a bolster if that feels good, slid across your mat. If you have room to walk your right knee back a little if you like to, that can be the case. And then lean forward gradually. Yeah, another variation I'll just slide in here as Chris is doing the pose. It's called 90-90. So you sit on your left hip. You've got your left leg at a 90-degree angle, and then your right knee out to the side, right leg at a 90-degree angle, and lean forward. And that's just a lot less weight on your left knee. Okay. And we're slowing down the practice. So with that, try to slow down your breath, your exhalations. Take your time with them. See if each time you breathe out, you can meet a soft landing place, your ground, gentle earth of your body, meeting the foundation of your mat. A couple more slow breaths. then lift your head and walk your hands back up underneath your shoulders. Curl your back toes under. Downward facing dog, and in this take any release that your hip feels good with. So yeah, just give you a few breaths to work out what your leg needs, or throw in Kundalini, why not? All right, downward facing dog. Let's move to our right leg with an inhale. Float your right leg up and bring your right knee forward. Set your knee down, set your left knee down too. Okay, so choose if any props are needed underneath you. Yeah, if you're working at home, it could be a pillow or a couple pillows for firmness. Yeah, lean in as you're ready, and remembering again, 90-90 being an option. You've got a 90-degree angle in your front knee, your right hip really well grounded, 90-degree angle in your back knee, but you can choose how far the left knee goes back. And then as you lean in, that's just as much as you need to get a good sense of opening in your right hip. Okay. So remember the power of your breath. Help you feel your body with more clarity, less mental noise. Breathing out deeply is an act of surrender, physically with gravity, but also surrendering into tension, letting it release into what is less charged than us, the earth. One more slow breath. When you're ready, lift your torso back up, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Move back to three-legged dog, or move back to the kind of release that your body needs, that your hip needs. It could be movement, it could be more like stillness. Great. Okay, and then when you come back to downward facing dog, we're gonna come down to kneeling, sitting, and really lying down. So you can take that transition to knees, and then your seat, and then come into the middle of your mat. And from there, roll down onto your back. And so when you get onto your back, bend your knees with the soles of your feet flat, and just let your hands open a little wider than your hips, and let your knees rock a few times side to side. Yeah, just loosening up your hips with a bit of movement. Okay. And then bring the soles of your feet flat again. Lift your left foot up and take your hands to the back of your left leg. And then stretch the sole of your left foot up towards the ceiling. And your right knee can stay bent, or you can slide your right heel forward and lengthen out your leg. So if you're lengthening out your leg, try to keep your right kneecap turned towards the ceiling. And keep your left leg firm in your hands. So for some, your hands will be low. For some of you, if your hamstrings are quite open, you may end up walking your hands up your leg. If you find your leg trembles, and if a few breaths doesn't help you get over that, then you can add a bit of movement, pressing up through your heel when you breathe in, and bending your knee until the trembling ceases. And then that's just a gentle pulse into the stretch and out of the stretch. Let's take one more slow breath. Now keep your left leg lifted, but open your arms out into a T shape, elbows bent or your arms wide. Put a bend in your right knee, just enough that you can shift your right hips towards the left by an inch or so. Okay, and then extend your right leg out. Your left knee can be straight, or bend your knee and into a twist, draw your left leg down towards the right. Yeah, if you have a cushion, pillow, or bolster you want to put underneath your leg, yeah, or a hard block, and it can be that. Okay. And stack your left hip over your right one. Yeah, let your lower back be nice and steady. And then lengthen the back of your heart towards the space behind you. Okay. Adding lots of room into your spine. careful release. So lift your left knee up and bring your feet down. And as your feet meet the mat, just let your knees move side to side a couple times. You're resetting your legs. Okay, so we'll move the hamstring stretch over to your right leg first. So as you're ready, lift your right foot up and take your hands to the back of your right thigh. And then your left knee can stay bent, or you can extend your leg with both feet flexed, your left knee turned up if you did straighten out your leg. And press your right leg firmly into your hands so the warmth of your hands can help soothe your leg. And then sense if, your leg is still great, but if there's trembling and that doesn't ease up in a few breaths, then just add movement. When you breathe in, press your foot up. And when you exhale, bend your knee enough that the trembling softens. And so you're moving in and out of tension. And in vinyasa and flow practice, we're often moving in and out of sensation. So you're really just going with the flow if you're adding that. Right leg lifted. Take your arms wide. To help you move your hips, put a bend in your left knee so you can shift your hips over to the right a bit and extend your leg again. Your right leg can be straight, or with a bend in your knee, draw your leg over towards the left. And prop your leg up, as needed. Okay, so as you let your legs settle, try as much as you can to stack on this side your right hip over your left hip, giving your lower back some even space on both sides. And really grounded through your sitting bones in the back of your pelvis. I guess not your sitting bones at all, hey? Your SI is what I meant. Okay, and then through the back of your heart, lengthen away from your hips. So you're creating more space. More space to lean into your right shoulder. Okay, last breath. And when you breathe out, carefully release. Bring your knees back up and then recenter yourself. And as you do, bring your knees in towards your chest, a little rock side to side or up and down your spine. Okay. An open inversion. So your choice, whether this is going to be reverse posture, maybe with your hips on a block or your hips up in your hands. If you work towards shoulder stand, it can certainly be that, and any other inversion that's part of your practice. We'll take just over a minute to work in the inverted shape. And when given open space, sometimes your mind may leap to what would be the best choice. Just let your body and breath be your guide. Movement inspires you. Let yourself stay with sensation. If your hips are lifted up into your hands, you're welcome to move into plow pose halasana. So plow pose is a deep forward fold. And to moderate it, you're welcome to bend your knees and try to keep your middle and your lower back long so that your shoulders be well grounded and your sitting bones lift up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky. And take the next few breaths to settle down onto your back. So if that's rolling down through your spine or bringing your feet down with your knees bent, however you feel best. Great. So once your feet have landed, walk the soles of your feet in towards each other. Now, I'm guiding into reclined bound angle with the intention of making this Shavasana. So just knowing that it'll be a little longer time, you can place blocks behind your thighs if you have them at home, if that feels best in your body. You may want to put something low and soft behind your head or a blanket over you. And of course, you're welcome to take Shavasana in any other form that feels grounding to you. Allow your body a few minutes of peace. To stay for longer, then just let my voice be in the background and stay still as long as you wish. Bring your knees in towards each other and bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Gently roll over to your right side. Your body settle into fetal pose, your head resting on your right arm. And bring yourself up gradually to a comfortable seated pose. Okay. So once you arrive at your seat, bring your palms together to heart center. Close your eyes. Let yourself feel the ground and feel the connection between your hands. Let's close with an Om. So first a clearing breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Inhale for Om. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for practicing.
It's supposed to be a therapeutic class.
We'll change the titling.
Yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we might include a mantra. I know there's a few out there that have requested that, so we'll try to include that tomorrow. And yeah, go out and enjoy the day. Thank you very much.